In its national capacity, Russia supported the initiative of Algeria and China to convene today's meeting relating to the extremely dangerous escalation in the Middle East. We studied the position of Iran very closely, as set forth in the letter sent this morning. We're grateful to USG Rosemary DiCarlo for her comprehensive briefing and assessments of the situation in Iran and the region. Russia firmly condemns the assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh following a missile strike on his residence in Tehran overnight on the 31st of July. This provocational attack was carried out at a time when the Hamas leader was in Iran, officially invited to participate in the inauguration ceremony of the president-elect of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian. Those who are behind this political assassination must have known how dangerous the consequences could be for the entire region. This is a serious blow, primarily to mediation negotiations between Hamas and Israel focused on a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, and Ismail Haniyeh was a direct participant in this. We must all understand this. These attempts to drag Iran into a regional confrontation destabilize an atmosphere in the region that is already at boiling point. The heinous practice of targeted assassination of high-profile political and military figures is bringing the Middle East to the brink of a region-wide war. We all remember clearly the dangerous escalation in January 2020, when the region teetered on the edge of confrontation as a result of the US assassination on Iraqi territory of Qasem Soleimani and other Iraqi officials. We note with regret that the necessary conclusions were not drawn from this. Washington, in acting irresponsibly, set a poor example to others, and actions that undermine the stability and security of the entire region continue. Restraint and refraining from taking steps that could lead to further escalation in the Middle East are more important today than ever. Unfortunately, we're seeing the opposite so far. Yesterday, an Israeli UAV carried out a missile strike on a residential building in a densely populated neighborhood of a southern suburb of Beirut near the Bachman hospital, one of the biggest in Lebanon. Women and 2 children were amongst the dead, and more than 80 were injured. In Tel Aviv, they announced that they had eradicated a senior commander of Hezbollah that Israeli blamed for the shelling of Majdal Shams and the occupied Golan Heights. This logic of spiraling escalation is now being applied to the political assassination of Haniyeh. We firmly condemn any such steps and also acts of violence against civilians, leading to many civilian casualties, and the destruction of civilian infrastructure. It's important not to allow the situation to slide to a full-scale regional war. Regarding the confrontation between Israel and Hezbollah, we've consistently highlighted the need for a full and comprehensive implementation of Security Council Resolution 1701, which clearly sets out both the obligations of Israel to end all offensive military operations and to withdraw their armed forces from the south of Lebanon and to end the occupation of Lebanese lands, but also the provisions on moving Hezbollah groups to the north of the Litani River. Colleagues, it's clear to everyone that the key to a resolution of the current unprecedented escalation is an end to the bloodshed in Gaza, where the number of dead is approaching the 40,000 mark and over 90,000 people have been injured. There are also people who die, journalists and humanitarian workers are also dying and being injured. The only way out is a ceasefire as soon as possible, the exchange of hostages and detainees, and the organisation of unimpeded humanitarian access to Gaza. Only then will the process for a peaceful solution to the Palestinian question and on international recognised basis be able to restart. This will be based on the 2-state principle, which is something we have unwaveringly supported. We're ready to cooperate with all of those who share these aims.